John's job. He's stepping on his toes there.
Is that it?
Told you we should all keep our phones on. I forgot.
Okay, so one of us will run back. I'll play Craig. No, it's don't worry. I just this thing is going on.
Yeah, I don't know if she's coming overseas. When you're on the radio, she's doing like a Queen's kind of needle thing. WABC has some feature on the website where you look behind the house, and they have a thing about the spending habits of people. And they have an online diary. This is the one I read today. 26-year-old girl lives at 8 a year. They think that the salary is starting in New York City, and how she spends money. Like rent's like 4 months. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it's like a bit of a struggle to get by. You know, paying my student loans and like a diary of their daily spending. She's a little story like that in this way. I was 26 and I was making 80.
Well, I mean,
all these kids, you know, phone bill, mom and dad, cable bill, mom and dad, you know, Netflix, mom and dad. So yeah, so it's like a little bit more like
or the video.
You have to check the box.
Just Dance, the video game for Xbox. You gotta dance with what's on the screen. They film you and they rate you. Dance and all. No, all the participants. It's a video game, and they give you a song, and they show you how to dance the song, and you gotta follow the directions, and you can read them. I danced to all the songs, like disco songs, like all new songs, but I can't second. I have 3. 4 years.
So who rates you?
It's the machine. Yeah, and they do a playback. Oh yeah.
Like the band.
Yeah, he's not like the 70s disco channel. No, he's not. Like it's Raining Men and all that.
No, I mean, that's not popular. I'm talking about really just.
Yeah.
I'll send you the story.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, see it?
Probably
Nobody had it, but I've seen the whole early beginning of the Jets. But there was a year, it was like Pink Floyd, and it was like Queen. Yeah. That's some Pink Floyd for kind of
Already cracked the screen like 12
I know, mine. It's terrible. I don't think it's like
The screen broke?
no, just cracked up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I gotta get it.
She'll fix it. I have Apple Care. Apple Care. It's free.
John Doyle. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about this call. Oh, okay. All right, we'll be careful. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
You should live stream this.
Yeah. The one at Airhead.
That was awkward when he used to.
Yeah. She said awesome.
Oh.
I love how we broke up.
So that,
Even when I'm on the bus, I'll do that all day.
so many
And Holly Hunter pictures are great. I love Holly Hunter already. She reminds me of more.
Show a picture. That picture.
Oh, yeah.
The little boy broke.
Really? I like my Holly Hunter comparison. It's flattering. The mayor was Thank you.
Everybody's in. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just after midnight on Sunday morning, as you know, we lost another great NYPD police officer. Brian Mulkeen clearly had such a long and productive career ahead of him. He had made about 270 arrests so far in his career, the majority of which were felony arrests, a large number of which involved taking illegal guns off the street of the Bronx. As many of you have already reported Brian arrested another individual for carrying a loaded firearm in the same precinct just 25 hours before his own death. So that's where he and his partners found themselves on Saturday night into Sunday morning. They were sent by this police department into an area that has seen multiple shots fired jobs of late, and we know that gang and crew violence has been behind most, if not all of that. I want to remind you that amidst this absolute tragedy, that is the loss of an NYPD officer, Brian's heroic actions were taken in the course of confronting a convicted felon who possessed an illegal loaded firearm. And those actions by Officer Mulkeen have made the people we serve, especially the people who live and work in the area of Edenwald houses, safer. In a moment, Deputy Chief Kevin Maloney, the commanding officer of our Force Investigation Division, will get into some more details about this terrible incident. But I will tell you now that our investigation so far has found that Officer Mulkeen retained his firearm during the entire violent struggle he had with the suspect. Brian was the one who fired his own weapon, and he fired 5 rounds at the suspect. As we told you on Sunday, the suspect's loaded gun was not fired during this incident. Investigation has also found that Officer Mulkeen's partners fired 10 rounds, and 2 of those rounds struck Officer Mulkeen. This is a tragic case of friendly fire, but make no mistake, we lost the life of a courageous public servant solely due to a violent criminal who put the lives of the police and all the people we serve in jeopardy. Kevin?
Thanks, Commissioner. Just want to give a general overview of the incident and our investigation at this stage in the investigation. The incident took place on Sunday night, approximately 00:30 hours, in the confines of the 4-7 precinct. That evening, officers assigned to the Patrol Borough Bronx Anti-Crime Unit were on routine patrol, conducting enforcement efforts in the confines of the 4-7 in the vicinity of the Edenwald houses. Approximately 00:30 hours, just after midnight, the officers attempted to stop 2 males in front of 1135 East 229 Street. One of those males, the subject in this incident, began to flee on foot. That male was pursued by 2 of our officers initially to a location adjacent to 1128 East 229 Street. At the location, a violent struggle ensued as the perpetrator reached towards his waistband at that location. During this struggle, the officers discharged a total of 15 rounds, and the subject and 1 officer was struck by those discharged rounds. Prior to the following the discharge rounds, the perpetrator's firearm was recovered at the scene. That firearm was a .32 caliber revolver. Additional inquiries into that firearm have indicated that the firearm was purchased in 1971 down in Richmond, Virginia. Its whereabouts from that point to this point are still under investigation. Following on discharge, Officer Mulkeen was transported to the hospital where he tragically lost his life later on that evening. The subject was transported to the hospital as well, and he was pronounced deceased later on that evening as well. The investigation into the incident, including a review of body-worn cameras, is ongoing at this point. There were 6 members of the service that were present at the scene during the discharge. All 6 members of the service had body-worn cameras. 5 of those body-worn cameras were activated during this incident and are currently under review.
Thanks, Kevin. Take some questions.
Why were there only 5 body cameras activated in this instance?
Brian didn't have the opportunity to activate his body-worn camera.
Will those videos be made public?
Eventually, yeah. We're working with the DA's office. Don't forget, this investigation is only 38 hours old, so it's in the beginning stages. Tony?
Commissioner, did you say that Officer Mulkeen discharged 5 times and retained his weapon at all times?
Yes. Yep. That's exactly what I said. Yep.
This is the second officer killed by friendly fire this year. What changes might come of this, and are you considering any changes in training? I know after Detective Simonson was killed, there was some talk about retraining or training.
Yeah, we did. We put a tape out for everybody responding to commercial robberies after Brian was killed. Simonson was killed in February. And as I've said many times before, in every incident that happens in the NYPD, there's the opportunity to learn and to move forward and to get better at what we do. So we're going to take a look at this. There is video available. We can learn from this and move forward. And just as I said in my opening statement, this is an absolute tragedy. And again, it was caused by a convicted felon carrying an illegal and loaded firearm. Yep.
Commissioner O'Neill, again, our sympathies go to the Department of Labor. I do want to try to clarify for those of our viewers who are completely familiar with some of the terminology. When you say he had his own weapon in his possession and he fired 5 times, should people think that he shot himself 5 times? Like, can you clarify that?
No, he did not. He was engaging with an armed person. He had an illegal and loaded firearm. Brian was the one that initiated the chase. I saw some of the body-worn camera footage, and I got to tell you, there's 36,000 cops in this police department, and each one of them incredible human beings, but I'm not sure if everybody would have done that. He displayed incredible courage.
I want to clarify what you said. You said that the officers, the partners, fired 10 times and 2 of them struck Officer Mulkeen?
Yes.
But he was struck a total of 3 times?
No, there's an in and out wound. 1 round went in and out. That was in his torso. Yep, Ashley.
You mentioned the rasher shootings, and there was one on Thursday. I'm wondering if the gun that Mr. Williams had been connected with.
No, we don't know that yet. No, again, this is the second day of the investigation, so we just thought it was important to come down and tell you where we are in this stage of the investigation. Rocco?
Commissioner, for Chief Maloney, could you explain where, if you know at this point, where each officer was, the distance?
No, Rocco, we're not going to do that yet. Again, this is the initial stages of the investigation. Still have to speak to some people. We still have to review all the body-worn camera footage, and there's a lot of forensic evidence that we have to get through. Tony?
I guess Chief Maloney, was Officer Mulkeen wearing a vest, or was he required to wear a vest at this point?
He was assigned to plainclothes enforcement. As part of that assignment, he'd be required to wear a vest, and he was equipped with a vest that night.
Kumar, in terms of training, again, this is very early on in the stage of this investigation. In terms of training during the friendly fire, are there any initial assessments that you can see off the top of your head in terms of, like, I don't know, was this protocol helpful to understand? Is this, he was very brave, and we're not taking that away from him. But in this kind of pursuit, this kind of
Each situation is different and fluid,
okay.
and we'll be able to learn from this. Yep, and that's a promise we can make to Officer Mulkeen's family. Lisa?
Commissioner, just to be clear, were any of Officer Mulkeen's bullets, did any of those strike the suspect?
We don't know yet. Still, again, initial stages of the investigation.
And
Rich?
Can I ask you one
Yep,
thing?
sure.
Did they get a tip from the community? Because there was some indication from some sources that they received a tip that this particular guy was there and had a gun because of a previous gun battle that happened the week before.
Now, again, Lisa, I'm sorry I can't give you a lot of information here, but this is the beginning stages of the investigation. We did have a shot spotter alert the previous Thursday up in the Edenwald houses. Rich?
So, Commissioner, having seen the tape, can you give us a sense of the intensity of the violence? What happened? Were they wrestling around?
Yeah, it was, Rich, it was a violent struggle, and from start to finish, from first round to last round, was 10 seconds. Just think about that. Think about how quick that is. Rocco?
Commissioner, is it clear if the suspect Williams, or what connection did he have to Thursday's ShotSpotter job? Was he
Don't know. Again, initial stages of the investigation. Not sure if he had any connection. Take 1 or 2 more. Ashley?
Commissioner, given the fact that his partners, can you explain if they're receiving any kind of mental health counseling or that's being offered to them, and what the department plans to do? I mean, it's got to be kind of tough to have known you and possibly close your partner.
Yeah. That's so as everybody in this room knows, we're in the middle of a mental health crisis in the NYPD with 9 suicides year to date. So we know, and we've had the opportunity with each and every officer involved that they'll receive counseling. The union is with them, and we'll make sure that they get through this. Because think about what they were doing too, right? They're chasing a guy with a gun.
The second part I want to ask is, in 2016, these projects were part of a big gang takedown in the Bronx. I'm just wondering if you see the connection here, if you think that some of those people who were taken up in that investigation.
Yeah, it's too early to say. All right, last one, right here.
I assume it's too early to say whether or not it appears that you know, there might be any disciplinary inquiry around it.
No, that's, again, we need to put this in perspective here. What were these police officers doing? There's 5 police officers and a sergeant in anti-crime, the borough anti-crime. And what is their job? To help get guns off the street. And that's what they were doing on early Sunday morning. Last one. Yep.
He was not in uniform?
They were not in uniform, no. Okay, thank you very much.